Well, there. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the ever popular Inspirations for Your Life show. It is so great to be with you today. It is Thursday, August 13th. If you're watching us live, really do appreciate that. If this is your very first time joining me, I'd like to take the opportunity to say welcome and thank you. If you've been here one time, five times, 10, 100 or more, or maybe even lost track of the count, I like to say welcome and thank you, but I also want to say something else. I want to say welcome back. It's always great to have people that enjoy the quality and content of the show that I produce here. So, really do appreciate that. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for deciding to make this part of your daily life. You can't know how much that makes me feel so great inside, just knowing that people enjoy the quality of my content and knowing that I'm helping them become basically a little better than they were before. That makes me feel like so very, very good. So I am grateful for that. And let's kick off this show. All right, everyone. This is a great master topic this week. Stop waiting for your life to change. Yes, stop waiting for your life to change. It is Series 5. It is Show 33. And today's granular topic, are you ready for today's granular topic? It's one that you probably heard many times, but you probably try to kick under the rug. All right. Become braver than your excuses. Let me say that again. Become braver than your excuses. Series 5, Show 33, episode number 6. Again, it is Thursday. Welcome, everyone, once again to the ever popular Inspirations for Your Life show. If you're hungry, you're thirsty, feel free to go grab something. Come on back to the show. I'm John C. Morley, a serial entrepreneur. Yes, engineer, marketing specialist, video producer, podcast host, coach, keynote speaker, graduate student at Montclair State University, and so grateful to be a published author. Yes, passionate learner too. Really enjoy that moment. Um, have you ever given yourself a perfectly reasonable explanation for why you shouldn't do something, only to realize later that the real reason was fear? False evidence appearing real, fear of rejection, fear of embarrassment, fear of being wrong, fear of acceptance, fear of walking into a room where you don't know anyone, fear of trying something that might not work. Excuses can sound intelligent, they can even sound responsible, but sometimes they're simply fear trying to keep us comfortable. So a lot of you are great at making excuses, and then they wonder why they're not getting anywhere. You know why that is? That's because for whatever reason you are just trying to manufacture ways to get out of what you need to do. I think that's a I think that's an important thing to realize. So today I'm talking about becoming braver than those excuses that you have in the back of your mind, or for some in the front of their mind. Not being fearless, braver, because you see, courage doesn't require the absence of fear. It requires deciding that fear doesn't get to control what happens next in your life. That's it. Let's get into the 30 points that I hope will make this a lot easier for you. Number one, excuses often disguise fear. Yes, they're just a fancy suit. An excuse may sound like logic, but look underneath it. Sometimes I don't have time really means I'm afraid to try this. Identify what's actually driving the decision. I don't want to try lima beans. I don't want to try liver, right? Number two, catch yourself rationalizing. We can become incredibly creative when explaining why we shouldn't do something uncomfortable. Listen carefully to the stories you're telling yourself. This is so very viable. Number three, courage can coexist with fear. You don't have to eliminate fear 100% before taking action. That's a misnomer that we've been taught. Courage means acknowledging fear and moving responsibly anyway. Number four, stop protecting your comfort. Comfort has value, but protecting it constantly can make your world, well, seem smaller. Growth often asks you to temporarily exchange comfort for possibility. Number five, question every convenient excuse. When excuse rears its head and appears, and something becomes difficult, challenge it. Don't just let it go. Ask whether it's a legitimate limitation. Okay, that's number one, or simply a convenient escape route. That's another important one. Number six, say what you're actually afraid of. When we speak it, it actually makes us realize, hey, this might not actually be as bad as it seems. Fear becomes easier to understand when you name it. Are you afraid of rejection, failure, criticism, embarrassment, etc., or uncertainty? Be specific what it is. When you spell it out and you talk about it, it becomes more rational. And you're like, well, wait a minute. Maybe this isn't that bad. Number seven, courage grows through the use of it. It's like, a muscle. You build your courage muscle. Courage works like that. And it's also a skill you develop. Every time you act despite discomfort, you create evidence that you're capable of doing it again, 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 and again. It just a lot of people don't take the step because, well, their partner, significant other, or their friend says, well, I don't know if I can do this, right? They say that. And it puts that, I'm going to say it puts that fear in their head. The fear that they don't think they're worthy. The fear that they don't think that they actually can do it. Okay. That's a very important thing for us to realize. All right. We have to realize it and then act upon it. Number eight, take calculated risks. Being courageous doesn't mean being reckless. Consider the consequences, understand the risk, prepare appropriately, and then decide whether the opportunity is worth pursuing at all. Number nine, let yourself be seen trying. There's no harm in trying. And if you fail, nobody became an expert doing something the first time. You don't have to be an expert to start, but you have to start to become an expert. Or what a lot of people say is, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to become great. You won't always look polished while learning. Allow people to see you developing. It's humbling. Experimenting, practicing, and improving is the key. Number 10, stop fearing embarrassment. It's overrated, okay? Embarrassment feels enormous in the moment, but it usually passes quickly. Don't allow a temporary feeling to block a potentially valuable experience. That's key. Number 11, risk being misunderstood. You see, not everyone will understand every decision you make, and that's okay. Listen to constructive feedback, but don't require universal understanding before moving forward or universal acceptance. Well, my friend didn't like it, this person liked it, or my parents didn't like it. That shouldn't be your barometer as to whether you should move forward with it. Number 12, ask even when the answer could be no. People don't like to ask questions when they're afraid the answer might be no, might be yes. Ask for the meeting, ask about the opportunity, ask the question. A possible no shouldn't prevent you from discovering whether the answer might actually be a yes or it could become a yes with more conversation. Number 13, walk into unfamiliar rooms. Now, I'm not telling you to do what wedding crashers did, where they go to a wedding and they basically crash it and they say they know the bride or the groom, and they really don't. Walk into unfamiliar rooms. Number 13, what do I mean by this? So new rooms contain new ideas, new relationships, opportunities, and even experiences. Don't let unfamiliarity automatically become a reason to stay outside the room. Okay? You might say, gee, I don't fit in here, or I don't belong here. Well, that's a perception. It's absolutely a perception in your life. Number 14, speak when you normally stay quiet. I learned this the other day, actually. I was at a IT technology by invitational only expo. It was like, I think, I don't know, thousands of people applied and they let 500 come. They They basically vetted 500 of us that were invited from the request. And this attorney, an amazing attorney, he said a couple things, but one thing he said is don't stay quiet. The reason most businesses, now he said ITs and MSPs, managed service providers, um, get sued is because they stay quiet. If you have something, don't be quiet. You don't have to speak, but you have to put it in writing. Your service agreement, your manual, you have to put things in writing so people have them accessible. If you have something valuable to contribute it. Don't hold it back. Courage can be as simple as raising your hand, sharing an idea. All right. Number 15. Are you guys ready for number 15? How is all this sitting with you guys? Does this make sense? Is this hitting home or no? Number 15. Attempt something beyond your reputation. That sounds scary, doesn't it? Really sounds scary. Don't become trapped by what people already know you for. Maybe they know you as the greatest soccer player, or they know you as the guy who volunteers or the lady that volunteers. You're allowed to learn new things, enter new spaces, create new chapters, and develop abilities people haven't seen from you. I'll give you an example. Many of you guys know I'm a keynote speaker, motivationalist, engineer, and a lot of other things. Well, one of the elected officials of the town that knows me very well came to a presentation that I gave. And he was very surprised and very impressed. And he's like, John, he's like, I never knew that you were a articulated speaker. I said, well, thank you very much. He says, now I know something else that you do. I said, thank you. I appreciate that. So sometimes you'll surprise people by sharing something they don't know. Number 16, stop defending old limitations. People have been doing it for years, and it just causes us to have havoc. All right. And it never gets us where we want to be. So I want to say these words to you. Okay. Be careful about repeating statements. What do I mean by that? I'm going to be specific for you. I've never been good at that. I'm always a failure at. I never make any money at. I'm always broke. I'm always getting roped into things I don't want. You see, yesterday's limitation doesn't automatically deserve a permanent place in tomorrow. You could change that verbiage. I'm getting better financially. I'm becoming more educated each day. I'm getting better and better at this skill each day. I'm learning how to say no and yes to myself to preserve my time and my own self-worth. You see how you could change the conversation? That's a very, very powerful thing, but people don't do it. Number 17, make courage practical. What do I mean by that? That's a very weird one, but it's one that a lot of people in life they get stuck on. They get stuck on it because someone said, "Oh, you're never any good at this," or "This is the way it has to be." Courage isn't only about, let's say, dramatic moments. It can mean making a phone call, introducing yourself, asking a question, admitting a mistake, or beginning something new, forgiving someone. And I think because of a lot of people's egos, they don't go down this pathway. They don't go down that pathway. And that's why many people are not successful. Not because they can't be successful, but because they believe they can't be successful. Number 18, guys, practice being uncomfortable. Discomfort becomes, how can I say this, less intimidating when you stop treating it as an emergency. Put yourself in manageable situations that stretch you. Number 19, don't let rejection define you. Okay? A rejection tells you that one opportunity didn't work. It doesn't determine your value, intelligence, ability, or future of who you are or who you are becoming. And I can't tell you how many times I see people and they're like, I'm going to give you a perfect example. So there was a story about this very, very powerful tiger. Okay. Now it's a very powerful tiger. But guess what? The tiger is not so powerful as you would think. You see, when the tiger was a little baby, the tiger was staked to a stake. I know some of you heard this as an elephant, so either one works. Okay. So when this little baby tiger, okay, or the elephant, whatever you prefer, was tied to the stake, it couldn't break free, right? The stake was bigger than it. It tried a few times, gave up, tried again. After 3 or 4 times trying, it gave up. And it put the condition in the tiger and the elephant's head that I can't do this. Now we know elephants are so big, they can hurt and kill people accidentally, hopefully. Even tigers, right? They're very dangerous. They could squash that stake. But you see, because they put that thought in their head, that language, that programming said, I can't do it. So we never tried again. Sometimes we're at the point in life where we're not ready to do it. So we have to keep working at it. But don't give up, because you try later, you're going to have more resource, you're going to have more power. That's the key. But so many people try a couple times and then they give up because they figure, well, there's no point. An elephant could easily crush, let's say a 4-inch or an 8-inch steak or a several-foot steak, right? It could crush people. So that's important for us to remember, like the elephant and the tiger, that if we give up and we don't try again, we condition our brain to believe there's no reason to try because we can't do it. Number 20, recover quickly from embarrassment. You said the wrong thing. Get over it. Something didn't work out. You felt awkward. Get over it. Learn what you can, smile when appropriate, and keep moving. Again, get over it. It's a blip in the road. It's a bump you went over. Number 21, replace excuses with experiments. Instead of declaring that something won't work, test it responsibly. Okay. Let's say an experiment gives reality the opportunity to answer your assumptions. Number 22, become curious about fear. Instead of immediately running from fear, examine it. Ask what it's protecting, what it's predicting, and whether those predictions are actually supported. Number 23, challenge one limitation at a time. You don't need to become fearless overnight. Pick one limitation and challenge it with one meaningful action. That's it, guys. Challenge it with one meaningful action. You see, your thought from the inspired wisdom that you have wants you to take an action. Probably, oh, I'll take it later. They never do. And therefore, they never get anywhere. Number 24, refuse to shrink yourself. You can get big. Don't allow yourself to get small. Don't continually make yourself smaller than you feel you are just to remain comfortable to avoid criticism. I said this one time to an elected official. I said to him, because I guess I was overpowering him. I didn't realize it. He saw me as a threat. I wasn't looking for his position, but he didn't like I was getting all the limelight. And I said to him, after he asked the question, John, when are you ever going to quit? When are you going to give up? And I said to him, sir, I'm going to quit when a little baby boy or a little baby girl tells their parents they don't want to walk anymore. That was a very powerful thing I said. Okay. And when I asked him the question, I said, I know you have 2 kids. I said, tell me, so one's in college, one's where, and I said, I want to have a question for you, if I may. When did either of them tell you they don't want to learn to walk anymore? He paused for a few moments. He said the word never. I said, sir, that's exactly when I'm going to give up trying to. He goes, John, you're arrogant. Now get the blank out of my office. And that's what I want to leave you with. Never show up with less than your A game, because if you do, someone else will. Give your abilities room to develop. You're an A player. Just practice till you get there. Number 25, courage changes your options. When fear controls your decisions, many possibilities disappear automatically. Courage puts some of those possibilities back on the table again. That's powerful, guys. You see, brave decisions, which we're talking about today, reveal new pathways. You cannot always see what lies beyond a courageous decision from where you're standing or sitting right now. Sometimes taking the stop and step reveals options you didn't know existed, possibilities that you couldn't fathom. Amazing, right? Number 27, give yourself evidence that you can. I celebrate my small wins every day, even my big wins. And those motivate me to do more wins. Confidence becomes stronger when it's supported by experience. Okay? These are powerful, powerful things. And you can really make a difference in your life. I mean, really, really make a difference. Okay? I think that's important, guys. Every difficult thing that you handle becomes evidence you can point to the next time fear appears. Look what I did. Look how I managed that. Number 28, become stronger than your explanations are. Because your explanations are going to try to short circuit you and give you excuses, and just don't go down that way. You're stronger than you believe. Your explanations may be understandable. So just allow those explanations to keep you on a positive track. Your belief is the only switch from you not achieving it, but they shouldn't automatically determine your future. Just because you're somewhere now doesn't mean you're somewhere later. I'll give you an example. I've got a brother, DK1201 label reel, right? Just because it's empty now doesn't mean the spool's going to stay empty forever. I'm eventually going to replace it. I've got to take action. I've got to go order it, right? Ask yourself whether you're explaining reality or defending avoidance. You don't have to tell me, but if you're avoiding avoidance, then you're probably avoiding success. Number 29, your excuses don't deserve control. An excuse may deserve consideration. It doesn't automatically deserve authority, which many people put it in that category. You still get to decide what happens next. Of course you do. Number 30, our last point for today. Choose courage before comfort. I know that's hard for a lot of people. This takes me back to time when I was at the hospital. I broke my tib and fib, and I was close to having a major surgery. And I believed in my heart that I didn't need surgery. I reached out to my attorney. I knew it wasn't a compound fracture, but I believed. And when everything said no, I said yes. And you know what the outcome was? You don't need surgery. Comfort asks you to stay where everything is familiar. I was uncomfortable at that moment, but I had to act. Courage asks you to discover what might exist beyond it. When the opportunity matters, choose the path that allows you to grow, not the one that keeps you back. Even though it's going to be uncomfortable, you'll be able to learn from it. And next time, that'll be easier. Being brave doesn't mean you never feel nervous, guys, in closing. It doesn't mean rejection stops hurting. No. It doesn't mean embarrassment suddenly becomes enjoyable. That's not the case. And it certainly doesn't mean taking reckless risks. Being brave means fear is present, but it isn't driving. Think about one thing you've been explaining away. Maybe you're trying to convince yourself and others that you made the right choice. Maybe you should look at that decision again. Maybe you told yourself you're not ready. Okay, maybe you think you need more confidence. Maybe you're worried someone will say no to you. Maybe you don't want to look inexperienced. Ask yourself one important question. Is this a genuine limitation, or is this a fear giving me convenient explanation? People love to get comfortable, but when we get comfortable, we miss the boat. we miss the plane for our trip to success. Then, ladies and gentlemen, if you're tired of that, challenge it. Make the call, ask the question, enter the room, share the idea. Try something unfamiliar for once. Let yourself be seen learning. You might succeed. You might hear a no. You might feel uncomfortable. You might discover that you need to adjust. But whatever happens, ladies and gentlemen, you'll have something far more useful than just another excuse you fired off. You'll have experience, and experience gives you evidence. Ladies and gentlemen, I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur, and I thank you so much for choosing to join me for another amazing episode of Inspirations for Your Life. And I want you to know, everyone, that your excuses may explain why something feels difficult, but they don't deserve control over your future. If that's what's happening to you, that's why the boat of success keeps taking off without you. Become braver than your excuses, stronger than your explanations and limitations, and choose courage before comfort. I'm not going to tell you that this is going to be the easiest thing in the world. It's going to be hard, okay? But it's going to become easier over time. We choose excuses because, well, we fear false evidence appearing real. We fear what others will think. We feel failure. But you know what also we fear? We fear becoming a great success. Yeah. That's something that I never would have believed many years ago, but that's the reason a lot of people don't succeed is they fear success. People love to be comfortable, right? In the wintertime, they want to be nice and warm. In the summertime, they want to be nice and cold. When you get something that's uncomfortable, people resist. They pull back and they stop communicating because in their mind, it's not open for negotiation. Ladies and gentlemen, have yourself a great rest of your day or evening. And remember, become braver and you'll become a success. Take care, everyone, and check out believemeachieve.com.